So drop your attention down into your sit bones. And feel free to, wiggle around, move around a little bit until you feel like, oh, yeah, that's the spot I want to sit upon. I can't encourage you enough to make sure that you're up on something instead of sitting flat on the ground. And just notice the shape of your pelvis. Are you tipped forward a little bit? Are you tipped back a little bit? Do you have one hip that likes to rotate forward, or do you drop more weight into one sit bone? So just pay attention. Of course, when we sit cross legged, we immediately don't have that much symmetry because our legs are not symmetrical any longer. So just notice the impact of that. Just notice we're going to cross our legs the other way in just a moment. So pay attention before we do that. The path well trodden in your body. You've probably sat with your legs crossed in this direction since you were, 2 years old or something. So just notice the habitual pattern. Notice the spine, feeling that sense of openness and spaciousness. Breathe well. And then as you are ready, let's just change the cross of your legs. Make some subtle little adjustments and notice what is different. You can kind of notice the overall difference, like a sense of, oh, this is not usual. The body, not the alert, but the awareness might change in your body because it's not as well trodden of a path. So just notice that, and then notice where you are aware. Do your ankles feel different, or your knees? Do you have the sense that your pelvis is in the same shape it was before, or has something shifted? Creating this new pathway, maybe not new, I'm sure you've sat like this before, but the unfamiliar pathway in the body. And see if you can give that unfamiliarity the joy that it deserves, the curiosity that it deserves. And feel yourself lift and lengthen through your spine without tension. Open through your heart. Feel the sense of awareness in your shoulder blades. Drop your head back just a bit if you tend to lean forward at all. So the ears over the shoulders, shoulders over the pelvis. Let's breathe well here. Notice the sense of awakening and opening in your diaphragm. Letting there be some mobility in your breath. As you are ready, place your palms together, and you can bow into your hands, into your heart a bit if you want or not. Just set an intention in this place of clarity and focus of finding the center of the midline of the body, the center of the palms, the center of the mind, the center of the heart. Breathe in and create an intention in this focused place. And let's release the hands and find our way onto our back. Okay. So as you lengthen through your body, enjoy the sense that we're coming down on the ground. There's a sense of awakening
in the body, and let's just enjoy. Take a moment to just be so thankful and enjoy something about the way you feel physically. It could just be the way you're breathing or just the feeling of a beautiful stretch in your body, but just have a deep sense of joy and gratitude and a deep liking of the way something in your body is feeling. All right, and then bring your knees into your chest and rock a little bit and sing. What do you find in a simple posture like this that feels nice? Try to pay attention in every posture we do today to just a little bit of joy and a little bit of um, comfort or ease or spaciousness, whatever the good feeling is in some part of your body in every posture. See if you can keep your mind's eye to search for that and allow yourself to enjoy. So much of the time, let's circle the needs now. So much of the time we can waste our time on negative self-talk or focusing on I woulda, coulda, shoulda, or I wish I could, or on anything that isn't just the pure reality of something enjoyable in this moment. So let's try to keep our mind's eye on what feels good today. All right, let's open up. If you haven't done this yet, open up the knees away from the midline, back in toward the midline. And even if you feel some tenderness in joints, see if you can just marvel in the range of motion that's available. See if you can marvel in any sensation that is a really good sensation. This isn't to say to ignore bad sensations, but to just pay attention, trying to lean into the optimism, lean into the glass half full in the body today. All right, let's roll around in your ankles. Feel the joy as you hug your right knee into your chest. Feel your feet move and enjoy just the simple act of some range of motion. You know, if we have our range of motion taken away for whatever reason, if you've ever had a boot on your foot or a brace on your back or a cast on your arm or any restriction in your mobility, and then you suddenly feel the freedom of it again, it's profound. Let's go ahead and change sides. So let's see if we can find that profound feeling without having to face the reason for the loss. You know, can we feel the appreciation without having to lose something first? All right, now take that left knee straight, starfish your body out. Big breath in, enjoy, reach into your fingers and your toes. Maybe you want to move your legs or your hands or open and close your fists. Whatever is here, take another beautiful breath in, squeeze, hold your breath and squeeze everything you can squeeze. And then relax that and bring your knees into your chest. One more rocking, take a deep inhale. As you exhale, chin up, squeeze in all your breath out, hold it for a minute, keep squeezing. And then relax your head down. Left foot on the floor, right thigh over left thigh. Draw your knees into your chest and just enjoy the beginning of a hip stretch here. See if you want to rock a little bit, if you want to walk your hands down your shins, if you'd rather keep them at your knees. Can you melt the back of your head, melt the shoulders? All right, and then inhale and put your right foot on the ground, left thigh over right thigh, draw knees in, and enjoy this side. Is it different? What's different? Allow your shoulders to melt, your head to melt. Feel free to rock or to be still, whatever is a good feeling for your body to warm up and wake up. All right, and then we're going to lift your legs straight up in the air. You can have your arms down at your sides, out to the sides, or up over your head. And let's flex and point the feet while we're here. Start to turn on the engines of your core. Okay, waking up your legs a little bit. And then ground your core. See if you can draw your navel toward your spine a little bit. Knit your ribs in a little bit. Find the breath. And then open your legs out like the letter V. See if you can still stabilize your spine with your core. And then bring those legs back up. If your arms were anywhere other than out to the sides, bring them out to the sides now. Bring your knees into your chest, relax for a moment. And then we're going to keep with this movement of the core. Let's wake up the obliques a little bit. So drop the knees over. You don't have to go to the left very far. You could go really far and bring your knees to your elbow, but maybe the first couple of passes don't go that far. Just kind of windshield wipering with your core, your knees left to right. Make sure you're breathing. So this is different than just, kind of flopping down to the ground. We're having a sense of control that we're moving the body from the center. How is your breath? Are you still able to relax your neck and shoulders down onto the ground? Try to integrate the movement from the center of your body. Breathing well. All right, let's put your feet down onto the ground. Find your breath. We're going to lift up into a bridge with arms overhead. Pelvis lifts, arms come up overhead, round through your feet, and then exhale and melt your feet back down. So, it's a little odd starting with some core work, but let's just roll with it, okay? Stretch out your legs straight now. Find your breath. We're just going to wake up the psoas muscles. So with your right leg, left leg is down on the ground, toes pointing up towards the sky. With your right leg, turn it out just a smidge, maybe 10, 20 degrees turned out. And we're going to lift that straight leg. You don't have to go high, but just feel that the lever of this is coming from your center. And then just as slowly as you lifted it up, lower it back down. One more time. With that right leg just waking up. You can even put your hands on your belly to sense where is this coming from. And then relax. Right toes pointing straight up, right leg on the ground, left leg turned out just a bit. And inhale to lift up, or maybe you prefer to exhale. So whatever kind of is the natural way for you to breathe. The most important thing is that you're still breathing. Relax that. That's just a teeny wake up. We're going to bring our feet back into a bridge. This time we're going to lift up into a more full bridge. Open up through your pelvis. Find your breath. Round through your feet. So we're rooting into the four corners of your feet. Breathing well. Now walk your left foot a little bit more toward the center, maybe an inch or two, and take your right leg in the air straight out. And then lift your knee toward your chest. And then lower it straight out. And put that foot onto the ground. Come down to rest. So notice doing things that are different than our normal warm up. As your body kind of rocked to attention. Okay, so root upward again. Ground through the feet. Find the breath in your bridge. Right foot stays grounded. Left leg straight out. And then bend the knee. Bring it up a little bit. And then back out straight. And put that foot down onto the ground. A full bridge. Relax your neck and shoulders. Open up the breath. Ground the feet. And then exhale. And lower your body down. Windshield wiper your knees left and right. Nice and easy on your spine now. Nice and easy. All right. Bring your knees toward your chest. Release that back bend. Okay, elbows on the ground. Palms, our fingers pointing straight up to the sky. Bring your thighs to touch your finger pads. So bring your knees out just a little bit. And we're going to do some concentric and circles. So toes come to touch, circle your feet around. So we're making the action happen from our center. So instead of just focusing on what your feet are doing, notice the core. This is so subtle. Try to keep your knees touching the finger pads without changing that position too much. Of course, your legs will rotate, but you don't want to bring your knees further out and in toward the midline. Nice and steady. Now change the direction of your circle. Are you breathing? Is your neck relaxed? Are your shoulders relaxed? Okay, so just feel into that rotation in the hip joints, stabilizing with your core. All right, knees into the chest, rock a little bit, swaying from side to side. Last thing we'll do for the core here before we start moving, go ahead and place the foot down on the ground, feet on the ground. You have choices here. So if you feel like your back is vulnerable or your psoas is a little, not turned on well, you can start with your feet on the ground and we'll lift the drawbridge knee up toward the chest and back down. So that's the more gentle version, switching from side to side. Or you can start with your knees over your pelvis and we can tap the heel or the toe down and bring it back up. Okay, so you can have your arms down at your sides or out, whatever feels comfortable. All right, so you choose whether you're going to start with your feet down and lift one knee up at a time and then place the foot down and switch sides, or whether you're going to have your knees up and you're going to tap your toe or your heel and bring the knee back up and then switch sides. So whichever you're doing, neck and shoulders are relaxed, you're breathing, your core is engaged. Try to feel where this is coming from. Feel that it's not just, anchoring down your whole abdominal cavity, which of course is happening, but can you feel the psoas muscles, those deep hip flexors, do some of the work here. Let them be the engine that's driving this motion. Feel free to take breaks if you need to. Notice if your pelvis shifts. See if you can keep things steady. Remember when we were sitting on the ground and we had that sense of maybe one hip shifted forward or sideways or down, more weighted. Just notice the pelvis. Breathing well. Relax. Butterfly your knees out, Supta Baddha Konasana. Let the soles of your feet draw together. You can always put your fists underneath your hips if you need it. And just relax your hips for a moment. Just notice the two sides. When you do this, do you feel that one knee is like way lower than the other knee? And, our proprioception may not be reality. So if you want to check this, if you feel like one knee is way lower than the other, put your hands behind your head, interlace, now without a lot of core. See if you can just pick your head up and look at your knees and notice if your perception on the inside matches what's reality in space. Is your knee that you thought way lower actually way lower, or is it just a perception? All right, and then release the head down. Starfish your body out. Deep breath in, stretch the belly a bit. Exhale, knees into the chest. And then come over onto your side and come up onto your hands and your knees. All right, so as we begin to move through some cat-cows, notice if there's a little fatigue in your core muscles or in your hip flexors from what we've already done. Is there a little bit of, I'm already awake in that area of your body? So try to pay attention now to the way your spine feels. Can you open things up in as many directions as you possibly can? So you can leave off just the cat-cows and move into any movement that feels good. You can move your pelvis around, move your shoulders around. You can do sways or swirls or anything that feels really delicious. So remember, we're searching for what feels good. Search for what feels good and then revel in it, enjoy, breathe into it. Sometimes the most simple, beautiful things we feel in the body, we just take for granted. So let's heighten our awareness of those things. And then when you're ready, walk back to child's pose. Feel free to rock like I'm doing, where you kind of reach one arm and then reach the other arm and let your spine and your hips kind of feel that sense of mobility and compression at the same time. And then settle your body into child's pose and breathe along the back of your body. So notice if any of the muscles in your back Got a little bit tired from the core work, so breathe into that space, puff out the kidney space. And then walk the hands over to the right side of the mat when you're ready and open up the left rib cage. Drop some weight again into the pelvis, into the sit bones, into the skull. A full beautiful breath into the sideline. And then walk your hands over to the other side. What is enjoyable here? So let go of expectations that we're going to do this, that, or the other in our practice, and just be in the joy and beauty of this. Neck is soft, weight in the head, weight in the sit bones. And come back to center. Up onto all fours, curl your toes under and lift all the way to a dog pose. Now feel free to pedal your feet out. You can drop one heel and open up the Achilles and the calf, and drop the other heel and bend the opposite knee. Whatever feels good, enjoy the mobility that you're feeling. Anything that feels nice that you're finding, see if you can revel in it, pause, experience, appreciate. Breathe deeply. When you're ready to be still, no rush. When you're ready, yield. Give your weight into the four corners of your hands. Give your weight across the balls of your toes. Drop into the earth and then reach out of the earth and feel that sense of extension. Melt through your skull. Enjoy your breath. Enjoy the softness in your face, the melting of your cheeks and your eyes and your jaw. What is it about dog pose that you love? Is there a gem in this for you? And then walk your feet forward and come into Uttanasana. Feel free to bobble the head a little bit, relax, find your breath again. Feel free to shake, feel free to move in any way that feels good. And find a halfway lift. Hands on blocks with legs or ground if you're that flexible. Extend through the spine. Now, while we're here, let's bend one knee and stretch into the other heel. And then bend one knee and stretch into the other heel. And just kind of walking your feet, pedaling your feet, like you're pawing on the ground a little bit. And then 2 feet, ground the four corners, lift through the arches all the way up into the hips, thigh bones back, shins forward, the extension of the spine. Enjoy. And then we're going to melt and soften a little bit. We're going to walk the blocks. So I would suggest blocks for this. Walk the blocks over to the right side of your mat. A little bit of a twist here. So we're having our hands on the blocks. Lift your chest. Reach the left hip back, inner spiral the thighs, ground the four corners of your feet. Feel the reaching upward into the hips and the reaching downward into the earth. Keep your neck neutral and breathe. And then come back, walking over to the other side. Draw the right hip back now, an inner spiral of the thighs, a lift and widening of the sit bones. The grounding of the four corners of both feet. Extend the spine. Stay in the breath. And relax and come back to center. Bend your knees, soften your skull, drop your seat, and lift and rise all the way up. Okay. Bring your arms to the sky, a big open breath. Okay, so breathe today, lift the heart. What can you offer? Have a sense that lifting of the heart is an offering, but it's also a receiving. It's a signaling that you're ready, that you're open, that you're available, that you're courageous. And then let's elbows stretch down, open across the chest, and then round the spine. Tuck your chin toward your chest. Inhale, up again. Big breath. Exhale, floating forward, relax your neck and spine. A halfway lift, the four corners of the feet, root, exhale, and melt again. Step back to a dog pose, maybe the foot you don't take back first very often. Feel into the length of the spine here. Breathing deeply in, breathing well out. Come forward into a plank. Now you've already turned on your core, so feel it engage, knit to the center. See if you can find that balance in your shoulders where your chest is working, hands can hug toward each other, but you're also engaging the back body. Keep your neck neutral. Inner thigh is lifting just a bit. Stretch your heels back. Find your breath. And put your knees down if that is how you support yourself. Roll the shoulders. Enjoy that mobility. Arms out on like a V. Inhale, rise up and stretch your belly. Reach into your right foot. Reach into your left foot. Reach into both feet and take a deep breath. Exhale and melt your body back down. Hands closer in now. Shoulders down, shoulder blades down. Inhale to a cobra. Light on the hands. Let the body do the work. Exhale and melt to fold up onto all fours and move your spine about. Swirl it, swish it, sway it. Allow there to be a full sense of mobility. You can even pick up your feet and rock them side to side. Inhale, left arm lifting high to the sky. Exhale, slide that shoulder down, finding the twist. Relax your neck. Melt as much as you can. Stay in the breath. Notice the hips. Notice the feeling of the ribs. Notice the feeling of the breath. Come out of the pose a little bit. Face the ground, hips back toward the heels. Stretch the outer shoulder. Enjoy. A big breath in. A long exhale out. When you're ready, lift that arm up. Open the chest again. Hand comes down. Enjoy the other side. Start reaching up, a big open chest. Exhale, bring that shoulder down, twisting open, breathing well, feeling into the range that you have here. Thigh bones back, the head is melting, the neck is soft. Feel the sensation of breathing. Look what your body can do. Look at the capacity of your spine. Enjoy all the range of motion you have available to you today. Square the shoulders toward the ground. Drop back into child's pose. Stretch the outside of that shoulder. Relax your neck. Stay with the breath as best as you can. And inhale and lift that arm back up in the air. Hand comes down onto the ground, the dog pose again. As you find your way up, find your way down, root, feel the yield, feel the push, and feel the reach. Feel the inversion of this pose, the sense of your head below the heart, a bathing of the brain with blood and oxygen. Melt through your skull, your face, your sinuses, your inner ears, the base of your skull, your jaw, your teeth, your tongue. Bring your right foot forward into a lunge when you're ready. Adjust, stabilize, get yourself squared away. Opening the chest now, let's start to move here. So bending and straightening the front knee. Enjoy opening that hip flexor of the back leg that we worked a little bit earlier. Feeling that sense of awareness that this is a place in the body that is deeply supportive of you. Our psoas muscles are so important. They stabilize our spine. It helps us be erect. Every time we step and walk, we use this muscle and we forget about it all the time. So bring some heightened awareness. When you're ready, stabilize your legs and rise up to a crescent lunge. Anywhere you want to be with the upper body, with the arms, bring yourself into the opening of the breath, the sense of ease in your neck. Can you still feel that sense of stretch across the hip flexor of that back leg? Breathe well. All right, interlace your hands behind your back if you can, if your balance allows. Open the chest, a little teeny leaning back, not enough where you're compressing the spine.
Open the chest, open the throat, and then release the hands down and walk your back foot forward. Melt here, relax your neck. Inhale for a halfway lift. Melt and fold back down. Other foot forward, left foot. Now our right foot comes back, finding a lunge here. Have a moment to just ground yourself. Feel that you're where you need to be. When you're ready, come back into the breath. Pay attention. Start to move with your breathing. Enjoy the subtlety of flow, where our body and our breath become one. Enjoy the range of motion that you have available. All right, let's ground the legs, root into the front foot, root into the back. When you feel stable and ready, feel free to rise up. Now your hands can come up in the air, they can come out. What gives you that sense of I am open and free? I can breathe, I feel stable and steady. I'm supporting my back instead of compressing through your spine. Breathe into whatever's available here. Can you feel that hip flexor stretch open? When you're ready, interlace your fingers the weird way. Open the chest up, shoulder blades come a little closer. Try not to jut the ribs out. Feel that sense of stability through your core. Breathing well. All right, and then hands come down onto the ground. Back to a dog. Feel free to move around your joints. Find that sense of breath. And then walk your feet forward and come into Uttanasana. Hold. Drop your seat and rise up when you're ready. Pause in Tadasana for a moment. Get your equilibrium in that upright posture. Breathing well. So just notice moving through some of the paces of being present with your body, moving your body. Are you more aware? Are you more present? Are you more grounded? Feel into your breath. Now we're going to stand on the right foot and bring your left knee up. Now engage through those. Imagine we are still on our back. Okay, so feel the psoas, do the work here. Bring your arms out to the sides. Start to work with some balance. Breathing well. Okay, we're going to bend the knee we're standing on. Shift your weight, press your leg back behind you. Kind of like a modified Virabhadrasana 3, but kind of not all the way deep like that. Feel your glutes turn on your standing leg. And then go ahead and bring your knee back up, straighten your standing leg. We're going to repeat that one more time. Softly bend your standing knee a little bit. Stretch that leg back, engage your core. Your spine is long, stretch through your heel. Okay, and then we're going to come back up, straight leg to stand on, knee up toward chest. Place that foot down onto the ground. Relax your arms. Feel free to move around a little bit. You can release that pose, your neck, your breath, whatever is needed. Have a moment of gratitude for our legs, support below us. Okay, we're rooting into our left foot now, bringing our right knee up. Notice if one side of your body likes to balance better than the other. Soften your gaze, soften the base of your skull, relax the shoulders. Feel your psoas kick in here. So what's supporting you? When you're ready, bend the knee you're standing on a little bit, shift that weight back, stretch into the heel, long spine, tip forward as much as you want. Breathing well. And then coming back up, bring that knee toward the sky, straighten the leg you're standing on, hip in. Try not to hyperextend. One more time, reach that foot back, kind of like a modified Virabhadrasana 3. Stretch the heel, engage your core, feel your legs work all the way to your crown. And then come back, bring that knee up, straighten the leg you're standing on, reach to the crown, And place that foot down onto the ground. Pause here for a moment. Move your body around. Just enjoy 2 feet on the ground. Find your breath. So we're going to bring our toes to touch. Your inner heels can be a little further apart from each other and come down. We're going to keep our arms down for right now. So reach them back a little bit into your chair. Drop your weight into your heels a little bit more. And then as you're in this chair pose, imagine that you want to stand up. So move as if you're going to stand up straight so that you engage your glutes and your hamstrings, but also engage your hip flexors. Draw the knees back in toward the pelvis and then reach the arms up overhead if you can. If this bothers your breath or your neck or your shoulders, you choose a different way. Notice if when your arms come up, if you lean to one side, if you automatically have one foot that weights more. Okay, up in the air you go. Feel free to go on your toes if you want. And then straighten your legs, heels down, arms down at your sides. We're going to do this with one leg. So take a deep breath in. As you exhale, squat into your chair again. This time, if you want to bring your arms out, you can, wherever is going to help your balance. We're going to drop our weight into our right foot and lift to your left. Now engage your hip flexors. Engage your glutes and hamstrings. Feel the center of the body support. It's okay if you're a little wobbly. See what you can do here. And then we're going to slowly push ourselves up. Knee up in the air. Arms up to the sky. Find your breath. Twist to the left. Find your core. See if you can feel those hip flexors engage. And then arms back up. Place the foot down onto the ground. Relax. You can take your feet apart. Move your body. Okay, just let go. Okay. Make sure you're breathing. Sometimes when we're balancing, we think that holding our breath is going to hold us up better. See if you cannot compromise the breath for the posture. Drop into your chair. Again, this time we're going to weight into our left leg. Lift and hover your right. Find your core. Find your glutes. Find your hamstrings. Lift your crown. Find your breath. You can have your arms out or wherever supports your balance. And then push off that straight leg, left leg. Lift your right knee up in the air. Find that extension. You can put your arms where you'd like. And then we're going to twist to the right. Use your core to do this. So your knees are still pointing straight. Use your core. Drop the shoulders. Feel the crown. Root into the foot to lift through the crown. And then come back. Arm up, foot down. Exhale. Chair pose one last time. Even things out. Arms back. Weight into the heels. Draw it in. And then rise all the way up. Find your breath. Step your right foot forward. Left foot back. Finding a lunge. You can put your back knee on the ground if you'd like. We're going to twist here. And we're going to move with the twist. So if you want to have your hand on block or the ground, you do you. And so we're going to inhale and open up the right side of the body and then swing it back around. Try to let this action happen from turning your core instead of just rolling through your shoulder. One more time. Big breath. Exhale. Come back. Okay. Let's find your breath. Hop up onto your right foot. Blocks under your hands. Extend through that leg in the air. Breathing well. So just like we were doing that pose earlier, see if you can find the core to support you. Reach into your foot. Take a deep breath in. We're squatting on our right leg. Left knee tucks next to or behind. Curl the chest in. Inhale, bring it out. Both legs, glutes are working, core is working. Exhale, squat again. Inhale, straighten it up. This last time, we're going to experiment and stay. Okay, so squat down. If you want to try taking your hands off the blocks,
You can bring your palms together or arms out to the side, whatever feels good. Engage your core. Hip flexors helping, not just your glutes. Now, if you want to straighten your leg with your hands off the blocks or on your blocks, your choice. Stretch into that length and step back to a crescent lunge. Arms up, hands down. Dog pose. All right, let's enjoy the symmetry. Enjoy the symmetry. Breathing deeply. Come forward into a plank. Knit those ribs in. And find your way to the ground. Any back bend. You can do up dog if you want, or a cobra, or a locust, or anything that feels good. Big breath. Back to a dog pose when you feel ready. Take your time. Breathing in. Melting all your breath out. Remember, we're reveling in what the body is available to do. Bring your left foot forward. Come to a lunge. Now we're going to find that same twist here. So your hand can be on the block if you want, or the ground. We're going to spin open, but try not to just let this be an action of the shoulder. Turn from your torso to swing back around. Breathing well. Enjoy the range of motion. And then relax. Grab your two blocks, hop up. And especially if you have a little bit of a love-hate relationship with balance postures, see if you can move into the love. Okay, so what feels good here? Even if it's just the brain having to work, you know, the neuroplasticity that you're developing by balancing. Stretch and lengthen through your spine. Engage. When you're ready, exhale. Knee next to or behind. Squatting. Inhale, straighten things out. Long, spacious spine. Exhale to draw it on in. One more time, stretching it out straight. This time we're going to stay coming down. Notice if things are different on this side than the other. Engage your core, your hip flexors, your glutes. If you feel ready, you can take one hand off the block or two hands off the block. Any position that feels good. Press your foot into the ground, long spine, core is strong. And then slowly, hands on blocks or not, straighten out your legs. Breathe. And then a big giant step back, crescent lunge, arms coming up to the sky. A full inhale. Hands coming down. Dog pose. Take your feet wide. Turn your toes in. A full breath. Enjoy. Full breath here. We'll walk our feet forward. A halfway lift. And the melt. Okay, coming up to stand. Take your left foot back and your right foot forward. Your stance is shorter than a lunge. We're going to come into revolved triangle pose. Reach the left arm up in the air. Enjoy the space. Stretch that left arm forward. Hand can come on one block or two blocks or no blocks. So find the height that's right for you. Square up the hips. Start to twist to the side. Use your core to help you. Try not to rely on just flinging your arm up in the air. See if you can rotate from the core. Hips stay hugging in. Inner thighs rolling back. That right hip draws back. Round through the feet. Wide sit bones. A spacious long spine. Maybe your head turns up. Maybe your head turns down and looks at the ground. Maybe it's neutral. Shoulder blades down the back. Use your breathing to help you twist. and then relax and melt. Walk your back foot forward. Relax. A halfway lift. Right foot comes back. Shorter stance. Climbing on up. Okay. Root into your feet. Reach that arm up in the air. Right arm up. Left hand on your hip. Extend forward and lengthen. Bring your hand onto whatever support your right hand needs to be on. So sometimes stacking one block under the other can be very helpful. Feel the spine grow. Feel the roots of your legs. Don't twist until you have the rest of you organized first. Root from into the feet. Pull that left hip back. Inner spiral the thighs with wide sit bones. Maybe an ever so slightly anterior tilt to the pelvis, just small. Then reach into the spine. Stay grounded and rooting in your feet as you start to use your core to twist. Use your exhales. Keep your neck and shoulders relaxed. Find your breath. What feels good? Look at all that you're doing. And all these different postures, your balance capacity, your ability to twist, your ability to lengthen, your ability to see. When you're ready, hands come back down. Dog pose. Last of the dog pose. Extend through your spine. Feel free to move your feet about wherever you want them to be. Come forward. Find your plank. Knit the ribs in. Breathing well. Feel free to put your knees down first. Arms down at your sides, palms facing the ground. Let's lift everything up into some symmetry. Lift the legs, feet can be a little wider than hips. Long spine. Breathe, let your breath rock you. And then now turn your head one way or the other, pick up your feet and windshield wiper your knees. Turn your head the other way. Come all the way back up. Feel free to move your spine or out. So, just some rocking and swaying. And then if it feels good, a really wide-legged child's pose. You can always have it closer than that if that's better for your body. Melt the skull. All right. Onto your back. From after all that asymmetry of balance, we're going to just do another symmetrical pose. So come into a full bridge. Feet are down, grounding. Climb up onto the tops of your shoulders. Keep your neck neutral. You can interlace your hands underneath you, but you, of course, do not have to. You can press your arms into the ground. Be mindful that you're not pressing your neck. Ground the four corners of your feet. Open up the breath. A full inhale. Feel the belly fall on the complete exhale. And then relax. Windshield wipering your knees. Grab onto your feet, happy baby pose. Feel free to rock a little bit if that's what feels nice. Feel free to be still. Now, depending on your flexibility here, you can grab onto your big toes and stretch your legs out. If that's not available, hold behind your legs somewhere. And just open your legs out to the sides. Drop weight into your whole spine, including your head. Engage your quads. Try not to be totally slack. And then we're going to bring our knees in. Pull behind your legs. Have a little flex point in your feet. And relax your legs. Now you have a choice. Reverse pigeon pose or any other hip stretch. You know, if you like to put your thigh over thigh like we did in the beginning, or any hip stretch that is a good idea for you right now. So either flip over into a full pigeon or come into reverse pigeon, whatever works for your body. Remember, if you're in a full pigeon pose, we can use support. So blankets underneath your knees can be underneath your sit bones can be very helpful. So find your breath. Enjoy opening up the hips. Melt through your skull. The face is relaxed. Find your way into your breath. What is enjoyable about stretching your hips? You know, sometimes we have a little bit of a love-hate relationship. Lean into the love. Find your way out and over to the other side. Now feel free, if you're in a full pigeon pose, to do dog pose in between or anything at all that helps you feel like you can move now to the other side. So if you're on your back, you won't have this feeling quite as, the same. But if you're in pigeon pose, also feel that the hip flexors are opening. Postures we did in the beginning of class, engaging those muscles to see if we can melt and relax the hip flexors, whether they're in passive flexion or extension, depends on the pose you're in. Breathing well. If your head needs support, take it. Do what you can to relax your skull, your face, your tongue, your eyes, your ears. Lift and lengthen. Take your time. If you feel like you want to stay a little longer, that's all good. And then as we find Shavasana, if there's any posture that you're like, ooh, this is where the joy in my body, I want this feeling in my body. So if there's a pose that we haven't done that is something that really makes you feel good in your body, please feel free to take some time to do whatever pose feels good. Maybe stretch your quads. We haven't done much of that. Maybe a restorative pose. Maybe it's, you're doing a full back bend, who knows? But whatever you're choosing, just take a moment if you need it. If maybe Shavasana is the choice you're making right away. But if there's something that your body's like, ooh, I want to feel good in that way, take your time to experience whatever that is. Now, as you find your way, there's no rush at all. But as you are ready for Shavasana, make sure you're choosing the support that you need well, so that your body can really enjoy the posture. If there's anything at all you need, a twist or anything to help you be prepared, just complete your practice. And then as you're ready, find your way into Shavasana. No rush. as you do, take a moment to adjust anything that needs adjusting. Where do you want your legs? Where do you want your arms? Are you touching anything that you'd like to push away from you? Do you have the support you need? Once you're there, breathe into the melting. Imagine that with every exhale, you can just turn into water that spreads out on the ground. Nothing needs to work hard. Every part of you can let go. Deepen our breath. And remember, you can ignore me. If you want 10 more minutes of Shavasana, take 10 more minutes. Big breath in. Full exhale. Melt your body again. Any delightful movement to help you restore and renew. And onto your side as you're ready. Take your time. To sit when you feel ready. Let's breathe deeply.
Offer your practice and your energy to another. Namaste. Thank you, everyone.